Be the Talk, episode 316, featuring Beth Montgomery. Welcome to Be the Talk. We go behind the talk 7 days a week for tips and techniques to help you change the world. I'm Nathan Eckel, and a talker myself. I'm interviewing others who change the world with their talk. You can too, even if you've never given a talk before. Let's get started with today's show. We are live with Beth Montgomery. Beth, are you ready to talk?
I am so ready to talk, Nathan.
Beth Montgomery is a mother of 2 beautiful children. She's passionate about helping others and driven to make the world a better place. Beth Montgomery, welcome to the talk.
Thank you for having me, Nathan. It's an honor. It really is. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the talk. Your TEDx Harrisburg talk that will be given in 2 weeks is called Life Lessons They Don't Teach You in Driver's Ed. And what we're not going to do right now is talk about that, because I'm going to have you back after you've actually given that talk. What I wanted to do instead in this episode is just talk about where you're at right now, because you got accepted. And for everybody listening at home, you're special, because when I gave my talk, the first person in the line that I got to talk to was actually Beth. It was you. So, I mean, that just puts a little special place in your heart, puts all kinds of additional privileges and advantages and all of that. But I want to talk with you, not about your upcoming talk, because we'll talk about that. How did you get accepted? That's what I want to talk about.
Well, from last year, I've been watching TED Talks for years. And when I saw that TEDx Harrisburg was in my backyard, I had to go. So I bought the ticket. I went by myself. I was like, this is awesome. I loved every single minute. And I wanted to talk to every single speaker, because I just, you want to get up on that stage, you want to share ideas, and you want to get involved. So I remember coming up to you too, being like, Nathan, you did so good. Like, that's awesome. When I talked to the organizers last year, I said, I want to be involved in some way, shape, or form for the next year's TED Talk. And when I kept reaching out, they were like, no, we have enough people. It's okay. It's okay. Just, come support us. So I said, okay. And I get this email saying, we're looking for our next TED Talk speakers. Do you have an idea worth sharing? And I said, I got plenty of ideas. And I just started typing from the heart. And my talk just kind of flowed, because it's something I've always correlated to. So I didn't expect to get in. That was my first time ever applying to be a TED speaker. And it was my first really big opportunity. So I was like, this is great for just the experience and the know-how and what to do for the next time. And come to find out, I get the congratulations, come in for, the final interview. So here I am.
There you are. Congratulations. So can you give us top of the waves? Because we're going to dig into this in the next interview, but just lessons They don't teach you in driver's ed. What are a couple of those lessons?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Oh, you can't tell. Oh, that's right. That's right. You can't, because that, I changed the format, and I almost jack it up for the good people that gave me a spot on the stage. So thank you for that. But we'll find that out soon enough.
That's okay.
How have you gone about preparing? Since you've been accepted, I mean, you got invited to the audition. Obviously that went very well. And then once you get accepted, there's a whole new level of actually honing the talk. So, how has it been working with your coach? I'm assuming they have a coach, just like they paired me up with a coach at the time. And how has that process been for you?
So it has been this big learning process. You think that doing a speech 18 minutes or less about an idea that you're passionate about would be like just riding a bike. You just do it, and it's easy, and it's super, it's easy. It got really hard. And to compress all the stories and everything that you want to put into your talk, it's almost an eye-opener. So I had to really pare down on my stories, really pare down on what I wanted to do, and reframe everything. So what I am doing, and what I'm currently doing now, is working with 3 other coaches besides my coach, who I love, and it's other women. Another woman who has done the talk, actually Linda from last year's. Yeah, she's great.
Well, Linda was one of my first guests on the talk. Yeah? So she's in the first, I think she's in the first 20 or 15 episodes. I don't have the list, but Linda Beck, who gave a great talk on fake news and how we can all be vigilant and not get suckered from the one end or the other end, which gets more relevant by not the day, but the hour, I think, what Linda talked about. But anyway, so you're working with Linda. Can't go wrong with Linda.
Yeah. And then my other good friend, Kathleen Frascona, who is a coach who does the speaking engagements. And, both of those ladies are mentors and people I look up to and admire. And for them to be able to help me with my mentor, with the TEDx Harrisburg team, I feel very supported and ready. I did pick up this book and I wanted to show you. So for all you people, that's the one. Yeah. You got to get this book. It's going to give you a lot of great ideas. It kind of manifested and kind of solidified my talk. So,
well, what I love about that book, so she just showed podcast listeners, you can't see what we're talking about. It's basically the Bible of TED Talks or whatever authoritative textbook of your faith tradition or whatever. If you're an atheist, might be Carl Sagan's Cosmos. I don't know. We all have that sacred book, no matter what our philosophy of life. And that book, TED Talks by Chris Anderson, who is the curator of TED. He took over the TED conference, basically made it what it is today. And what I love about that book, Beth, is, that's why I have everybody read that. It's so important because if you ever get questioned by a coach or maybe an organizer or someone like that, and it's like, why are you doing this? Because Chris said to do it this way. And if you have a real justification based out of that book for the decisions that you make, it's hard to argue with that because it just steers you in the right direction. It's very easy to read. I love it. So I'm so happy you showed us that.
I'm glad to share it. It's even a really good book for if you're looking at public speaking in any sort of sense, or you just have the idea of wanting to hone in on your skills of talking to other people in general. It has some really great tools to kind of challenge you and make you reframe your thinking when it comes to just talking to everyday people too.
Yeah, well, and he calls it presentation literacy. And that's what's different about, a TED Talk or a TEDx Talk or a Q or an Idea City. I call them all branded talks, but they are idea-centric instead of speaker-centric. So that means that we are stewards of the idea, and the idea has to shine more than you or I, which can be really hard to do if we're, if some of us are amateur or professional speakers and we love the stage. And that is, it's a two-edged sword because you can see people on that stage. You can watch a video, and when somebody outshines their talk, you can sense it right away. And that, when that happens, if you're such a great speaker that you outshine your talk, then you've already jumped the shark, and we can all tell. So that's what really keeps us all on our edge. And it's short, and I think it's really going to be part of the resume of the future for those of us that are self-employed or own agencies, or manage agencies, as I believe you do, Beth, and all of us that are professional people and in that self-employment niche. I just saw an article going around that say that in 11 years, half of us will be contracted self-employed people. And I just wonder,
I completely agree.
I wonder what's going to be the role of these branded talks in building an online resume. So, I mean, that we're getting a little philosophical here, folks, because we are outside of our normal format. Back to you, Beth. I mean, what are your goals? What do you want to feel when you step onto the stage and then off the stage again in a couple of weeks?
So I want to feel very prepared. And I want to share the idea so that my idea comes through without me hindering it. I think that's my biggest thing. I'm changing my mindset to say, instead of I'm nervous, I'm very excited to share. So mindset is a huge thing. It has a very powerful thing within our own minds and how we present ourselves. So, it's just that when I get off the stage, I want to be able to say, that's the point I was trying to get across. So, yeah.
Awesome. And I love that. We got that from, it's making the rounds right now. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I've heard that from Simon Sinek, I think was one of the first people to really articulate that so
That's exactly
well.
Where I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Minds.
He's a good guy. So, and he got his start at TEDx as well a long time ago. I don't know if you've ever actually seen the Start with Why or the Why Leaders Inspire Action video that he did. But the thing that we love about it, it's not in HD, because I think it came out before HD, and it's not, he's just drawing on an easel in the way that only Simon can. And it's not particularly high quality, but the video went viral and it really established his already, from what I understand, he had a great career, but it just supercharged it because so many of us have watched that video.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I was watching on my TED app. I listen to it every morning while I'm getting ready. And his talk actually came up the other day where it's like, words that inspire a great speaker or leader. So that's funny. Now,
besides Simon, do you have other kind of TEDx role models that you enjoy?
Yeah, I always go to the funny ones because I find that humor is the spice of life. But the one TEDx talk that really stuck out was, what's her name? I'm blanking on her name, but she held a human brain with the brainstem, and she went through a stroke, and that's what her talk was about, where she was, she was in that situation, and she's like here, and she started crying and she showed emotion. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. It's so powerful. Powerful
stuff. Well, we are talking with Beth Montgomery. We're going to have a link to her LinkedIn profile as well as her talk when it comes out. And it's not going to come out until she actually gets on the stage. This is great. What's your final word of advice for other people who are in this process of getting accepted right now? What would you say to them?
Just be fearless. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. If it makes you excited, if it makes you nervous and it makes you scared, but deep down in your soul that this is something that would make your soul and your heart happy, go for it. All
right. Beth Montgomery, thank you so much for coming on the talk today and sharing your wisdom.
Oh, thanks, Nathan. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Be the Talk. For tips and resources to help you change the world, go to BeTheTalk.com. See you tomorrow.